Melvin doesn't have a lot of money, but that doesn't mean he can't build an amazing garage. So to help him build this garage, let's go over the 7 best budget vehicles that all new players should own in GTA Online to get around quickly without breaking the bank. First up, we have the Elergy RH8. This vehicle is completely free and can be bought from Legendary Motorsport or from Benny's Original Motorworks. Being free means it could be bought by anyone on any budget, and with a top speed of 118 miles per hour, it's a pretty good car, considering it is completely free. As for the design of the car, it is pretty good as well because it's based off the Nissan GTR, which is a pretty good looking car. But if you do have some money, you could upgrade this vehicle to the retro custom version from Benny for $900,000. This design is a lot better in my opinion because it's based off the Nissan Skyline, which you can tell by this livery, which makes it look like the Skyline from Fast and Furious. The only bad thing about this retro version is that it's a little bit slower than the normal version with a top speed of 115 miles per hour. So you should only upgrade to the retro custom version if you care a lot about the looks, which is something I care about, which is why I changed it. Next on our list, we have the Karin Armored Kuruma, coming in at a price of $700,000 from Southern San Andreas Super Autos, with a trade price of $525,000 after completing the Fleischer job. So the reason this car is so good is because it's almost completely bulletproof, which means it's perfect for PvE missions. Like missions where NPCs have to shoot you from their vehicles, because you hardly take any damage because of the bulletproof armor. This also has 4 seats, which means if you're playing with a full squad, then all of you can get in this one vehicle, which saves you guys a lot of money because you only have to buy the one vehicle. The only bad thing about it is that its top speed is 110 miles an hour, which isn't the greatest, but driving this car around is pretty nice, and it's bulletproof, so everybody inside is protected. Just don't get into any fights with online players because the Kuruma doesn't have any explosive protection. So one sticky bomb and... Next up, we have the Nagasaki BF400 at a price of $95,000 from Southern San Andreas Super Autos. Now, this is probably the best off-road bike in the entire game because it's super hard to fall off of it no matter what you do. The wheels are super bouncy, which means you can get crazy airtime. The suspension is amazing, which means you can take ramps and landings incredibly well. And it has a really high top speed at 134 miles an hour. This top speed is only beaten by HSW vehicles and the Manchester Scout, which is well over double the price of the BF400. At number 4, we have the Ocelot Virtue, coming in at a price of about $3 million from Legendary Motorsport. Yes, don't worry, this is a video about budget vehicles. Yes, I'm gonna explain why there's a $3 million supercar on this list. After completing the 6 missions in the first dose and completing the 6 missions in the last dose missions, this car is given to you for free. Like, you don't even buy it, it's just given to you. But with a top speed of 120 miles an hour, this car doesn't seem amazing. But the Virtue has the second fastest acceleration, only being beaten by the Coil Cyclone 2 HSW. The reason for this crazy acceleration is because it's all-wheel drive and electric, which is a crazy combo. The Virtue is also compatible with Imani Tech. This lets you use a remote control unit, missile lock-on jammer, slick proximity mines, and armor plating. Next up, we have the Western Besra, coming in at $1,150,000 from Elitist Travel. I thought that I should include some sort of aircraft in this list because I didn't just want this list to be cars. So even though flying around isn't the most budget way to get around, it is good to have variety. So the Western Besra is one of the most agile jets I've used in my life, and it's not crazy fast, which means it's good for new players who are trying to learn how to fly. Also, this jet is just good for doing tricks for more experienced pilots, but it doesn't have any weapons, so don't try to get into any fights with any real jets, otherwise it's not going to end too well for you. Next up, we have the Pegassi Zentorno, coming in at $725,000 from Legendary Motorsport. This is a very well-rounded supercar and is kind of known as the best supercar for new players to buy. This is kind of the supercar that everybody should have from their low-level days. It has a top speed of 122 miles an hour, which isn't too bad considering the car is $250,000, and the design is really nice considering it's based off of a Lamborghini something. I'm not too sure which Lamborghini is based off. I'll probably put it up on screen. Number 7, we have the Karin Sultan, which is $12,000, which is basically nothing. It can be bought from Benny's Original Motorworks or found on the street and claimed as your own. So this seems like a pretty average sports car because it only has a top speed of 116 miles an hour. But when I say that this car competes with cars like the Flash GT costing $1.7 million or the Ubermacht Cypher at $1.5 million, purely in terms of speed, it doesn't sound too bad considering this car can be found on the streets. It also has 4 doors, which is perfect for a group of new players, making this a huge money saver. As a bonus, we have number 8, the Saber Turbo, coming in at $15,000 from Benny's Original Motorworks or can be found on the street again. So this is a pretty typical muscle car, except for the fact that it can be customized at Benny's Original Motorworks for this much. But the reason it's on this list is because it's one of the few muscle cars with decent handling. Honestly, driving this thing around isn't too bad. So normally with muscle cars, they suffer from understeer, which means they can't take turns very well at a fast speed. But the Saber Turbo doesn't suffer from this, which makes it a really good car. And with that, the list is over. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you learned something, and like always, like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.